I'm Tits,
Hey everyone, and I'm Areolas.
and today we're reviewing The Brown Bunny. Hey, Lorenzo, what's your previous exposure to The Brown Bunny?
I actually never saw it. The only reason I knew about it is because of the soundtrack. Because the guy who supposedly did like the majority of the soundtrack, or that was going to, is named John Frusciante. He
Ooh,
is he is the guitarist for the Red Hot Chili Peppers currently,
okay.
and that's the only reason I really cared about this movie was because he did the music for it.
Yeah, the music was definitely very vibey. It kind of set the mood. Okay, so Lorenzo, I
Hmm.
watched this and I was pretty confused, like, just
Yes,
watching it. What do
me
you
too.
think, first of all?
First of all, this movie was written, uh, edited, directed, produced, and photographed by Vincent Gallo. And yeah, when I first like saw the whole thing, I was like, "Is this just him driving around, filming himself driving around?" Like,
That's what it felt like.
yeah, that's what it
There
felt
were
like.
some artistic shots that I do want to get later on into, for sure. How
Yeah.
does it start? Oh man.
So he starts out. He's just racing on the track, and it's shot like a home movie. That's what it felt
Yeah.
like real home movie vibe where he's just racing on the track, and that's all he's doing for like what, 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's like the first 5 minutes of the movie is just racing on a track. And I'm just like, I feel watching this some tension, guess. There's no music. There's very little music in this. Did you notice that?
Yeah, the only time there is music is like when he's driving, and
Yeah.
it's like he just turned on the CD player and put on a song or something.
I really think that the this movie is supposed to be this guy's experience in life. It's supposed to be what he's experiencing and why what things he has to go through. Personally, I find that the pacing in this already, I'm like, you know, if I was like really down to chill, then I'd be down to like vibe with this movie. You know? What do you
It
think?
is a
Would you
very
chill to this movie?
it was a very chill movie. It was like I know me this was me watching it for the first time.
Yeah.
I again, like I said, I knew about it, but I didn't actually watch it. And I was, kind of more analyzing it because we were gonna talk about it, so I was writing notes, and a lot of it was like, "Oh, he's driving again," and then he meets this
Yeah.
girl, and oh, he's driving again, and then he meets this other girl, and like when you on paper it sounds silly,
Yeah.
and pervy or whatever, but like it is a chill movie. Like you said, I did get that vibe where you kind of just going through this dude's life. It's almost like a vlog. It felt.
Yeah, yeah. Like a really long vlog. I would say this movie being like watched since I watched this as like working out. I watched this movie working out.
Oh,
Uh
did you?
yeah, and
What kind
I
of working out were you
I
doing?
was
Like
just
the
doing yoga.
yoga?
I
Okay,
was doing
cool.
yoga, and if watching like watching it while doing yoga, and it's definitely kept me like grounded into the movie. If it was any other time of the day, I don't think I would have enjoyed this movie as much as I did,
See,
just
I
because of
thought
how
you were
slow it is.
going in like a full sprint while
Yeah.
watching this movie. It's like, no, yeah, it does have that kind of vibe to it. I'd say like starting out, I guess as far as like the plot goes, he's at the racetrack, and then he goes to put gas, and then he sees like a really young girl at a register who
Mhm.
looks young, allegedly. I will say, I don't know how old she is.
I thought she was like 20. That was my guess.
I was thinking maybe 16, but she has a
Oh.
young look to her, right? I don't know. And what was your first take from seeing the star, which his name was what, Bud Clay, I believe. The
This like
the
what was my What was my opinion on him trying
Yeah.
to hit on this
How would you
clerk?
feel if he hit on you? Like,
Oh
and
my
what do you get
goodness.
off of
Okay.
him, off of his vibe?
You know what's so funny about this? So, first interaction, he goes up to the clerk, he's purchasing things, and then he's like, "Hey, do you want to travel? I really need a travel partner." She's not really saying anything.
Mm-mm.
He just keeps on going with, "Please, please,
Yeah,
please, please, pretty please, 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 please,
and
please,
he's
please."
got
And then
this
he just
like,
annoys her until she goes with him. And I'm like, how is this effective? This would not work on me. I would not go with that guy, even if I was 16, even if I was 20. No, nothing would make me want to leave with somebody just randomly I didn't know, just traveling. Wow, they could kidnap me. I don't
mm-mm.
know. That could be like my last day. They could murder me. I don't trust them. I don't know them.
And this guy has like, not to say he's not good looking, but he's got that serial killer stare in his
Yeah.
eyes. Like he looks like a handsome killer. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, he's got that look to him. But yeah, 50 no's and one yes is still a yes. So he was very persistent, and
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, let me just leave a note for my aunt. And then he drives her to her house. He's making out with her a lot, and then he's like, I'll give you 5 minutes to go get your stuff, and then he just ditches her. He fucking just leaves after like a little while.
Why did he? So I was
And
just so confused at this point.
me too.
I was like, okay, are you gonna like sleep with her or something? Like, well, why? If you're just gonna pick her up, just go the full way. Like, go the full extreme. I want to see what happens if you sleep with her. But no, you're just not. Like, you're just not going to do that. But instead, like, provide seemingly no reason except for like the quietest of conversations. It's like they're like mumbling.
Yeah,
Like I have to put subtitles
I'd put
on.
I'd put my TV at like 96 volume to fucking hear it.
Yeah, I put my phone all the way up. I turned my phone all the way up, and then like I played some music. It was blasting. I was like, no,
Yeah,
what?
exactly.
Have you heard of it? Have you heard of the up button in your program, editing program? The
I
up
think,
button?
yeah, where you like maximize the volume or something.
Yeah, I
Am I
don't know.
guessing that right?
Turn it up. I personally really it's a pet peeve of mine when dialogue scenes are so quiet and then the rest of the scenes are super loud. Like the did you notice when he was on his motorcycle and also in a car which had like no muffler for some reason? He just likes loud things. He is racing and it's super loud.
Uh-huh.
And it's
Uh-huh.
like, dude, you had the dialogue super quiet.
Mhm.
Ah, I
All the
hate this.
the vrooms and shit were all fucking loud and
Yeah, I just really I it's honestly such a pet peeve of mine to have just just all the things be uneven. It has to be even, or else it's just an autism thing. I guess it's like a sensory
well, I could
issue.
see that being because of all the production you kind of do as far as like editing and stuff. Like it would annoy you or bother you to notice that. And then also, I was looking at the budget for the movie. Allegedly, from Wikipedia, it was 10 million. So it's like you can't afford a boom mic. Like,
Wait,
come on,
what? What
Yeah,
10 million
yeah.
for what the
This says
cameras?
here
Maybe
the budget was 10 million, and the box office was only made $630,000. So
six hundred and thirty
they
thousand
lost
dollars.
like they lost like 9.5 million.
Where did the budget go?
I don't
Did you
know.
read into that?
No, I didn't read into the budget because there's a lot more controversy other than the budget in this movie. If
Wait,
we
what? I didn't know any of this.
There's a lot. Well, we'll get to that end scene. But
Okay.
if you notice too, the girl's name was Violet, so there's like a theme of all the girls are named after flowers.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I heard her name like when he said, "Oh, what's your name, Violet?" and I was like, okay, I'm assuming that's a key part of this movie if we're
Mm,
learning names.
it's
And
true. There's a lot of there's I guess there's only like 3 that he took in his car. Oh, speaking of car shots, did you notice that the framing of his face whenever he went into the car, like at the very beginning, was
yeah,
there is
it's like this close, right?
it's really close.
Uh
What it
huh.
is really close, and there's like some side like his like profile is cut off a little,
Mm-hmm.
and then like a lot of space in the van. And I'm curious. I thought this could be like some sort of metaphorical thing, like he's kind of closed off from the world. Did you? Is he like he's closed off?
I think
But he's
reading more, like watching more of the movie, I did feel that way, and then like knowing more about what it could have meant. Maybe it was supposed to be he's in his thoughts. You know what I mean? Because it's pretty close to his inner head or whatever.
okay.
You
And
know,
when the women were introduced, I recognized that they were in opposition of his like very closed off, like closed in camera angle. They
hmm
had a lot more room to the side of them. The women would be like a third of the shot, and
hmm
then a 2/3 would be a window or whatever they're near. But they would have more openness. And
hmm
then whenever he was with the women, his framing would expand to be more encompassing of him. So
I
I
could see
thought,
that.
yeah, it's like it's a very metaphorical. I think those camera shots represent him and his thoughts and his open-mindedness, or rather not thinking so muchness, you know?
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that now after like reading more into the quote unquote meaning, and then you like explain to me more because like I said, just watching this movie, uh writing my notes down, it was like driving and then a girl driving and then a girl driving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I I felt like I was more trying to watch or listen for the music more. That was my wanting to do than look at the shots. But yeah, I could think of that now, how with every woman he felt more, I don't know, open to the world, and then by himself he was more closed off to
Yeah.
everything, you know. No,
Yeah.
definitely. I okay, after driving for a while, that first time after he ditches that young girl, he ends up at a house where like two old ladies are at, and
Yeah.
they have a brown bunny there, and supposedly he's asking for a girl named Daisy
Yeah,
that
that's his
apparently
ex.
he yeah, that apparently he used to be friends with as a kid, but they don't
Yeah.
remember him, the
I thought that
parents,
was
right?
weird.
Yeah, it was really
Do they
weird.
have
You like,
dementia or something?
I
That was
don't
my
know.
thought.
It was a very strange scene because it he was just sitting there, and it just was so weird the way they like kind of stuttered, and then like the different things they were talking about and the
Yeah.
bunny, and I don't know. I was like, what is this? It didn't make any sense to me at first. I'll say that, you know. What do you think
You
of him with these ladies?
um so okay, first I liked that there was a brown bunny, but I wish there was more brown bunnies within the movie. There was only one brown bunny.
hmm
Maybe the racer that he's on is called a brown bunny and I don't know it because I don't know anything about
No, I don't
dirt
believe so.
bikes. Uh Maybe there are more things in brown bunny, but it's not obvious. Like this literal brown bunny.
hmm
So I first of all want more brown bunnies. But
That's
more
true.
importantly, the ladies. So there was 3 ladies. So there was
I think it was just two. It was just
it was
well.
2.
I mean,
There
in
was a
that house.
prostitute that he went to.
Oh well,
Uh,
first off, he went to that house with those two old ladies. They didn't
yes.
recognize him, and then he just took off again. He's on the road again,
Yeah.
and then he where does he get to? He gets to like a truck stop, and he finds another lady. He's getting a soda pop at a machine. he sees another lady there, and her purse says her name's Lily, and then he goes and sits with her, right?
Yes.
And then he starts what, making out with her or getting all close to her.
That was weird.
Mm-hmm.
I I'm always astounded. I'm baffled by how he can just sit down next to a lady and be like, "Hey, do you want to make out?" And without her doing anything, yes. And then he just goes and starts making out with her. And man, I what frustrated me the most about watching this movie, honestly, was how smooth he is, and it's unrealistic. Like, is this some sort of fantasy? This
See,
has to be some sort
we
of
don't know.
fantasy.
We don't know if it, because it, in the way the film is shot, it reminds me, like I said, of a whole movie. So it reminds me, maybe the whole thing's a memory. You know what I mean? Like
Like
that's
a memory of what?
uh,
Kissing women?
yeah, like of his past. That's what the vibe it gave me. I'm like, is this entire movie a representation of a memory? Because he's just, I don't know. It's very weird the way he just approaches a woman. He's just staring at her for a while, goes, sits down, makes out with her, then walks up, looks at her a little bit longer, and then leaves. And then he's driving again.
And then he drives to Las Vegas. And my favorite technique of getting a woman, having a woman hang out with you.
Hmm.
He goes to this woman in Las Vegas, clearly a hooker, talks to her. Hey, want to have lunch? I work for cash only. And I'm sitting here, hey, you gotta take the lunch. I mean, lunch costs money.
Yeah.
You could use that money that you have currently towards something else. Take the lunch now. Oh, you're gonna feel fat. What? Okay, you don't know where your next meal's coming from. Is that possible? Just take the lunch, okay? Just take the lunch. Just
Hmm.
take it free. Just take the free food.
This
Always
is
take
good.
free food. That's always my philosophy.
And
Always
it was
accept
McDonald's
free
too.
food. It was McDonald's.
Uh
He
huh.
took her to McDonald's. She got the fries. Fries are okay at McDonald's. It depends on how warm they are. They only last good for 15 minutes.
Yeah, they
What
don't
else did
last
she
very long.
eat? Do you remember?
I don't recall. I just remember him, like, first a couple of hookers came up to him and he said no, and then this one that you're saying he took lunch with, her necklace, her name was Rose, and that's why, like, he did a U-turn, like, and he was just like, "Is that really your name?" Yeah, and then he's like, "Why?" Like you said, "Let's grab some lunch. I only work for cash." And then he ends up getting her anyways, picking her up to go get
She should
McDonald's.
have not said the I only work for cash line if she was going to get into the van anyway. Why resist if you're going to do the thing anyway?
I guess just play hard. I don't know. Play hard to get. Some guys like that more, right? It's like, all right, I got the cash.
I guess so. Yeah, it's like, oh yes, a sense of achievement.
And he, trying to remember where, there's a part before that that I wanted to mention where he goes to, like, not a racetrack, but like an area that's all white, like white sands. Do you recall
Oh yeah,
that
yeah,
part?
yeah. Yes. I forgot where
It was right
each
before that.
part took in each what part of the movie took place in which
Which
order.
girl? Which
Yeah.
girl with what scene? Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, the girls were the memorable
Mm-hmm.
marking points.
Yeah.
Like the significance points in this movie are the chicks. And I do like the scene that you're talking about.
I do
How the
too. That's why I
horizon
mentioned it.
line is so flat. Their
Mm-hmm.
fan breaks through it just a tiny bit, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
And also he breaks through a tiny bit, which is cool. I like this effect. I really like I honestly thought this was a metaphorical thing as well. He's closed off. He's still in his own world. He's not even breaking the horizon line. He's not even reaching for the skies. He's he's just in his world. He's riding bikes. He's vrooming all over the place,
Very
hurting my
loudly.
ears.
Yes, very loudly.
Yeah. So it's all a big old metaphor for his closed mindedness.
I mentioned this shot because I did like this shot how the land was white or the sands, and then he had this black van and the way it was like, shot. This actually kind of like, okay, this is real nice, and
Yeah.
how he takes the time, like it shows where he brings the bike down,
Mm-hmm.
starts it, and then just takes off, and it zooms in as much as it can to like his little speck of what he is all far
I
away.
thought that was pretty cool. I
Yeah,
I do like seeing him ride off.
that was pretty cool.
Yeah. It's very artistic.
Yeah.
I I feel bad. I mean, I feel bad for criticizing this movie because I do have like complaints about it. But I do give credit where credit is due. This movie is great. This movie has like great composition. They clearly know how to use a camera. They clearly know what composition is. So this clearly artsy.
Mhm.
It's something I probably don't get. This is not this like I probably like first 2/3 of the movie. It's not my most favorite movie. I am appreciating the art. Whenever there's a cool art, cool shots, I'm like, oh yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. I'm doing that for most of the time because most of the shots are really cool. But
Mhm.
the but it's slow and quiet or loud, no in between.
Yeah, there's a lot of imperfections in this movie, but
Yeah.
there are parts like that that and I'm not even an artsy person. Like I know you know more than I do as far as like art and how to like, put certain things in certain spots and there's laws to it. And
Yeah,
I
just
would I
just
don't know
just
it.
make the negative space as interesting as possible.
Mhm.
Make sure it
It
doesn't like connect
but I
in
liked
one
how
big old block.
that looked as far as like the black van on the white
Yeah,
sands. That was pretty cool.
I thought that was cool.
And so after that he meets that hooker Rose. He buys her lunch, and then when she's like, "So we're gonna do anything?" He's like, he just gets out of his van, lets her out, gives her money, and then he takes off. And it's like, okay, cool. At least
Good.
she got paid.
At least you got paid. I like that.
Yeah, that's still a service. And then he stops at like a hotel or a motel, checks in his bag, and then he heads to a what it looks like an abandoned house, and he's yelling for a girl named Daisy. And he's doing
Yeah.
this for a while, and then the neighbors are like, "Hey, she's not there. Nobody's there."
Right.
And so he leaves a note for
Mhm.
Daisy. Hey, this is where I'm at. Come meet me if you can. He goes back to his apartment. I like how he's dressed here. Is this where he's in all brown, I think?
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of liked how he was dressed. I don't know if he was supposed to be the brown bunny when he was wearing all brown or something, but
Yeah, I thought he was a brown bunny. He keeps on
he
moving, he keeps on fucking, he keeps on multiplying. He keeps on hopping around all over the place.
yeah,
Maybe he
he's
is the
never
brown
stopping.
bunny.
I wouldn't think of that where he's fucking and he's hopping everywhere, but I did consider him all brown. Maybe he's the brown bunny.
Yeah.
He tells the apartment people like, "Hey, if this girl comes, let her in." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
He goes to wash his face, I think, and then he comes back and Daisy's there.
Yes.
Very
She's
beautiful
there.
woman, very beautiful.
She's in a ramshackle mess. And it's so funny. She's in ramshackle. She's so pretty, but I'm like, you gotta have some issues to be here.
hmm
Why are you here?
She
Maybe
so she,
she's here for some reason.
yeah, she's there, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know what happens here." He like tells her he's kind of like, "No, I don't want to do this," and she's like, "Oh, don't you remember when you loved me? Don't you remember this and that?" And then she's like smoking drugs in the bathroom
Oh
every
man,
other.
the people kept smoking in the hotels. Oh my god, you reminded me how much of an issue I had with that. They kept smoking in the hotels, smoking weed in the hotels. I'm like, dude, you're going to get a massive cleaning bill for that.
Yeah, that shit
Come on! It's like
absorbs and
cleaning bill for
everything.
like $250 at like any place for smoking. Okay? Ugh, it just it has such a pet peeve. Ugh. Just
Just
like go
go walk.
outside and do
Yeah,
that.
go walk down the block. It'd be good for you too. Good for your
Yeah,
lungs.
exactly.
So she's smoking a little bit. She sits on his lap. They embrace. They're all whispering at each other very quietly, like you said. Yeah, very quietly, and
Yeah,
it's a
that's what they
weird
sound like.
it's a weird shot, but it's pretty cool because his back's to the camera. He's sitting
Yeah.
down. She's in his lap. I think they're making out or something. There's just a lot of them or her saying, "You remember this? You remember that?"
You remember?
Reminiscing.
Do you want to reflect on your past instead of living in the present right now? Do you
Now
want to
it's
reflect on
every
your
time.
past right now?
Let's bring up shit.
Yeah.
Let's bring up
Hey,
everything.
do you remember the time in which you threw a rock at me because you wanted to drive so badly that you
You
threw a
used to
rock at
love
me when I
me.
wouldn't let you drive? Do you remember that? I'm pretty sure that happened. That's canon. That's canon.
It's probably in the comic book somewhere that
Yeah,
that, that happened in the spinoff.
exactly.
Um, so she takes off her clothes. We see her tits, which are nice. They're very nice
Oh
tits.
my goodness. Are we at the scene? Are we at the good scene?
Yeah,
Are we at
and
the
then
best scene?
we get them right in front of the camera, and she starts teasing on his nutsack, and
Yeah.
then he actually pulls out his dick, and
I
she
was not
starts
expecting
sucking
this.
it.
I
Oh,
was
you
not
weren't?
expecting to see a penis. I was like, are they going to go all HBO? I mean, they don't even have penis sucking in HBO.
No, no. This is porn, borderline porn. I
This
feel
is
like.
pornography.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's where a lot of the controversy is in this film.
Oh no,
Is
this is my
this
favorite part of the film. Everything else about this film is controversial except for the dick sucking part. So, that's actually my take.
and you know what they called it in the media when they were criticizing this? They called it graphic unsimulated fellatio.
Unsimulated? What does that mean?
That means it's real. It's not a simulation. Like it's not like when they have fake sex.
Yeah. Wait,
Okay,
what's
this would
fake about sex?
well, in movies they have like
Oh,
it's
they don't
simulated
insert
sex. Yeah, there's no
the penis.
mhm
Okay.
mhm.
He just
This
has a
was
penis.
yeah, this was unsimulated fellatio.
I thought, okay, you want to know my genuine reaction
What was your
while
reaction
watching
to
this?
this?
So, right before this scene, I was just like, man, I'm I just feel like, dang, I'm in a hard spot because I get it artistically, but I also not a big fan of it, just personal opinion. And then this scene happens. They're making out. I'm like, okay, they're making out. It's getting hot, steamy. This is right
Mhm,
pacing, by the way. I
mhm.
think Vincent Gallo should do pornography instead of films. He should do pornography. So the pacing is good. It's just good enough where I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued. And then she like goes down to his wiener, and the wiener is like hard. I'm like, oh, that's a hard wiener. Okay. And then she like starts unzipping it. I'm like, oh, is there going to be a penis here? And then there's a penis there. And then I'm like, wow, there's a penis there. That's a hard penis. And then she
Uh-huh.
starts sucking. I'm like, whoa, wow. I'm so glad I watched this movie, man. I had it was well worth the wait.
It was a
You know,
huge
I
build up to that scene.
huge build up. I've never seen that in a movie,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, not
until this one, and I was like, whoa! I loved it.
let me ask you because I just thought I know you on your fansly you do dick ratings, right?
Yeah,
What would you rate his penis on a scale of what is it? What do you do? 1 to 5, 1 to 10?
it's a. I'd say it's a 9 out of 10.
It was a pretty good looking
I was
penis.
like, whoa, that's a nice wiener. You know, that was my first thought.
Yeah,
It was good for camera.
uh-huh. And she she sucks it. She's there
Yeah.
doing that, and he's like, he's I don't know. I'm gonna say I'm pretty sure I got aroused during this scene. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like
Yeah.
I'm into more like Japanese porn and stuff, and
Mhm.
not that it takes an hour to fucking get to this, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, he was there like, oh no, please don't, oh, and like saying it in like a horny, like he liked it, but no, don't do it sort of way.
Right. I was I was cheering him on. I was like, "You you better you," I was like, "You better have sex. I wanna see missionary right now." And then that didn't happen. I was like, "Dang it." But I'm glad I saw a blowjob.
Yeah, and I was like, does she really love him? Is she gonna swallow? That's the way you. That's how you tell, right? If you actually love
Really?
someone, that's what I heard. If you love him, you'll swallow. No, I don't know.
Hmm.
That's I think that's a rule of thumb somewhere, but I don't think it showed anything because apparently this was all a fantasy. So he after it's done, this whole scene of her sucking his dick, and then he stops. He like lays down in the fetal position and starts kind of crying, right?
Why is he crying? I
Because
just I've never understood that. You
so
know,
he after this he's remembering that she's actually dead the whole time.
oh no, what's that called when you have sex with the corpse?
Oh, I don't think it was necrophilia, but
Oh.
yeah. Not she wasn't dead with him. It was like a memory. Like I was
Oh.
thinking maybe he was like jacking off while thinking about her, and that's how.
You know, there's I thought it was all real, and then the ending just kind of confused me. If it was supposed to be a memory, I just wish it was more, it showed that more in the movie.
Mhm.
Like maybe it shows him lounging around in the real world. He's being just a bum and he's remembering what it's like to be with this chick, and then he gets interrupted by real world duties, and he keeps remembering this chick, and then maybe he gets into a car accident because of how much he remembers this chick, and it's like all memories, and like memories are like halted suddenly because of the car accident, and then he's in a hospital bed and he's still thinking about this chick, but maybe he's like coming to grips like, oh, maybe I should get away from this chick. I should stop thinking about this chick. Or maybe he keeps thinking about the chick and he gets into more accidents. That's the movie I'd like to see.
I mean, if she's willing to do a blowjob like that, I don't think I'd forget about her either. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Uh, because she
It was
she was
powerful.
pretty. Yeah, it was a very good moment in
Yeah.
cinema history. So he's there crying, and basically he's recalling, and we go into like a sort of flashback where he thinks he's at a party with his girlfriend,
Yeah.
which is that girl that sucked his dick. Her name's Daisy. He thinks that she's doing drugs with these dudes and that they're raping, or I'm sorry, that she's letting them have sex with her, like
Mhm.
all of them, right? Like a orgy. And so
Mhm.
he leaves like all butthurt about it. Uh
I think he should have just gone in and be like, "Hey, whose asshole is getting fucked right now? I'm gonna stick my penis in it.
let's say
Anyone who wants to be fucked? No? Oh, well, get the fuck out of with my chick," and then like drag her ass out of there. I think he should have confronted her.
yeah, well he should have pulled out his hog. He probably would have beat them all in size and all that. I
Right.
imagine.
Yeah.
If it was an actual dick measuring contest, I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure he
that
would have
yeah, just
won.
like have a measuring tape, like, hey guys. Like
And this is
maybe
when
like
I'm soft or
what's up?
something. He's
Like,
like, and this is when I'm soft. Imagine that. No.
oh boy, imagine, just imagine. I I don't have a good imagination.
Well, he leaves because he's like, oh, I'm butthurt because you were having sex with those guys and doing drugs, but then it
Yeah.
turns out, no, you were wrong, bud. I was actually doing drugs, and they laced my drugs So they drugged my drugs, and I was passed out, and
Whoa,
they were
he's
all
doubly drugged.
they drugged her
Drug
drugs.
session.
I
Drug
would,
session.
I would, how couldn't I trust you drugging my drugs like that?
Which
And
type of drugs did he drug? It better be good. Better be the good chemist. Better know about chemicals, the ones that cancel out each other. If he drug the drug with the wrong drug that cancels each other out,
oh yeah, then it wouldn't
yeah,
even be drugs. It would turn into like gold or candy. I
it'll
don't know.
just
I'm
turn
not a
into
chemist.
water. It'd effect be as effective as water.
It would just turn into dust.
Yeah.
Uh, and so it turns out they were all actually raping her, and then when they were done with her, she overdosed and died. And when he came
Gonna
back
cry.
finally, yeah, when he came back finally to, oh, I better go check on my girlfriend getting raped, that apparently was with child, I guess, right? She was being carried out by the hospital or by the ambulance, and he's there trying to kiss her dead body, like make out with it one last time.
Like I think he has issues.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
He's got more issues than you fucking have comics right now. He has a shit ton of issues.
yeah.
And yeah, like so it was not real, and then he hits the road again, and then the credits roll. Black screen, written, directed, produced Vincent Gallo. The end.
Oh boy.
And what I was reading about, because when I watched it first, my initial thought was, what the fuck was this? Like, and when I read about what it was supposed to be about, apparently it's about, a man being alone, has his own depressing thoughts, and he's just like, that's supposed to be it. Like, he's alone all the time, so he's in his own thoughts, and he's just lonely and depressed.
You know what would have okay, if that's the idea that they're going for, I think they should have added some voiceover in the car scenes,
Hmm.
like in Dexter.
Oh,
Give
okay.
like
Yeah, there's a lot of that in Dexter.
yeah, you gotta have some internal monologue. If he's in his
Hmm.
thoughts, I need to know what his thoughts are.
Hmm.
I need to know how he approaches each situation. If he's in his thoughts all the time, I need to know that as an audience member. So I just think if that's the idea that they're going for, that one simple add dialogue to his thoughts, make that a thing that I watch, then I would have liked this movie a lot more.
Would have made more sense,
Yeah.
at least, yeah, to me. Otherwise, it just being him on the road and then making out, and then him on the road and then making out, and then him on the road. Because that's all I thought. And
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, that
okay, you know what's fun about being in your thoughts? Because
tell
I
me, because I don't have fun beating my thoughts.
okay. I guess I've definitely experienced a lot of being in my thoughts and expecting people to know what's on my mind. And then
Hmm.
it's fun trying to communicate what's on my mind when I think, oh, they already know what I've already thought. And then it's like, no, actually, they don't know. I feel like that's what this movie is. Like maybe the Vincent Gallo is like, oh, maybe the audience will know what I'm thinking. But no, the internal monologue part is the part that's missing.
Yeah.
If there was an
I
internal monologue, I would like to know your internal monologue,
I feel
Vincent.
like there's a certain type of audience where maybe a dude would watch this movie and
Yeah.
then break down crying and be like, I know exactly what he's going through. Like, there'd be a niche type of audience that, like,
Yeah.
oh, he painted this perfectly, even without it, as is how it was.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
but we aren't that. And after I read about the meaning, I was like, I get it. I'm a man. Like, I used to drive around like a lot, like when I'd go out of town or something. And yeah,
Yeah.
you're in your thoughts, uh just thinking about memories or what's going on. So I get that part. But
Yeah.
as far as the movie, it didn't portray it to me as well, kind of like you're saying. Like, it needed better a way to portray that to me, because I didn't feel it from this movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
What would you rate this movie?
I'd say a 6,
A
maybe.
6?
Yeah, like, it was I mean, not even that it's like, oh yeah, the fucking that shit got me hard, the porn, it was like it was I get the scene for it. It built up to it, so I think there was artistic value to this movie.
Yes. I think before the porn, I would give it like a 4.5. After the porn, I give it a 5.5. So, also
You
discussing this movie with you has like broadened my view of this movie. I'm like, huh, actually I hadn't even considered that. So I give it extra points for that.
do you think he was 5.5 inches? How long do you think that was? If you had to like gauge it from from your
7 or
dang.
8.
Dang.
That's what I
No, it was
guess.
it was a big hog. He did
Yeah.
like yeah, he was ready. He was ready for that scene.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, that was The Brown Bunny by Vincent Gallo. I wanted to play a game with you.
Ooh,
Was this is called Guess the Guitarist.
guess the
And
guitarist.
the reason I bring up the guitarist is because like I had said earlier, the reason I like this or what not like this film, it was okay, but wanted to really get into it was because the music was supposed to be done by John Frusciante, right? That guitarist I
Yeah.
told you about, the Red Chili Peppers. And so, from what I gathered in books and wrote down, Vincent Gallo had become friends with John Frusciante prior to making this movie.
Yeah.
So John Frusciante was the first to really hear the script idea for this film of the Brown Bunny. He told them like, out loud, "Hey, this is the idea I have." He had asked John Frusciante to make the music for the film, and so they made the film while listening to the music that was going to be in the film. But once the
Mm.
film was done and they tried to put the music to the film, it didn't gel correctly. It didn't
Huh.
go together like they had planned. So they ended up scrapping the music, and now the songs you hear in the film are different artists. They're not John
Huh.
Frusciante.
Interesting.
Um, but they did put like some of his music on the soundtrack, the Brown Bunny soundtrack, right?
Okay.
So that was interesting to me is that they made the movie to some music, but when they tried to add the music after the movie was done, it didn't fit correctly, you know?
Right.
So that's why we're connected with that long conversation I just gave. But it was interesting to guess the guitarist, and
Yeah.
I'm going to show you here. This is John Frusciante right here currently. Looks like Jesus. Uh,
Yeah.
sings beautifully. I feel like if he had to, Jesus had to sing, he would sing like John Frusciante. But
He
what I'm gonna
sings like Jesus?
I feel like he would if Jesus sang. He sings beautifully. I feel like I don't know if you'd know his music, but I
Not
would
really.
highly recommend it. He makes music, rock music, and then trap music also.
Okay. Interesting
Yeah,
combination.
yeah. He's good at it all. But I'm gonna show you now a series of 7 guitarists, I believe 7,
All right.
and I'm gonna ask you what you think their names are, uh,
Okay.
or what band they might be in. If you can
Okay.
guess the band, that's cool too. And for bonus points, if they're dead or alive still,
Ooh.
and if they're dead, how they died.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of rules to this, but let me
I
get
like
to that.
rules.
Yeah.
Rules are cool.
So here's the first guitarist. Who do you think this is, or do you know who this is?
Is that Michael Jackson?
No, but close, very close.
Michelle Jackson.
This is Prince.
Oh, Prince.
Yeah. Do
I'm
you?
more familiar with who Michael Jackson is than Prince, honestly. Even though I
He's
keep
like
hearing
number
his
two.
name.
He's
He's a
like
what?
number two. He's like number two. He's like Michael Jackson's Coke and Prince's Pepsi. I feel
That is
like
a weird guitar and I love it.
that's his symbol because there was a point where like he left his label and they
Yeah.
still owned his name. So he started going as the artist formerly known as Prince to avoid legal issues, and that was his symbol.
That's funny. That's
Uh,
really funny.
Do you think he's dead or alive?
Dead. I
That's
remember.
yeah.
I remember seeing when he died on the news. Actually,
Do you know how he
like,
died?
um, being too cool for living.
That is a good well, he drug overdose. Yeah, you know
Oh, that makes
that
sense.
might be. Yeah.
He
Fentanyl.
drug overdosed.
He drug overdosed.
Of course he did. Of course.
No, yeah, rest in peace, Prince.
Rip.
Uh Next guy. Do you know who this guitarist is?
That's the guy from the Beatles. I could tell by haircut, but I don't know his
Mhm.
name. I don't
Okay.
know any of the Beatles names.
That's fair. You did get that right. There are a lot, they all kind of look the same.
Yeah.
This is the lead. No, I don't know if he's the lead singer because him and the bassist kind of go hand in hand, but this is John Lennon of the
That's
Beatles.
John Lennon.
Mhm.
I've heard his name a lot. He's alive still.
Actually, he's
Wait,
dead.
when did he die?
Uh, quite a years back. I know they just put out a new song with his AI voice,
Oh, that's why I
but
probably think he's alive. Cause
yeah.
AI.
Do you know how he died?
He died by stringing his guitar too much. He was like, and he did so much that his fingers kept bleeding, and then he kept going until his stump, and then he kept going until he lost his entire arm, and then he kept bleeding out.
Mhm.
That's how hard he played the guitar. That's how he died.
Very very close. He was shot by a fan.
Wait, shot by a fan.
Yeah,
That's
like a
not a
fan.
fan.
Well, that's what I guess he was a X fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy shot him. I guess he didn't like his opinions because at a point the Beatles, John Lennon said that they were bigger than Jesus, which is kind
Oh,
of controversial, but there
I
was a
mean they
point where they
are.
were yeah,
There are
they were-
4 of them, and Jesus is only 3 people.
yeah, they could beat him up in a fight.
Mhm.
So they shot him. He got shot and died from the bullets.
Huh.
True story. Rest in peace,
Dang.
John
Rip.
Lennon. Next one. Do you know who
What?
this guitarist is?
The KFC funnel? Um, that's that's Colonel Sanders.
I was hoping you'd guess just out of like vagueness. His name is Buckethead.
Buckethead. Who's
Yeah,
that?
that's his name, Buckethead. He's just a famous guitarist named Buckethead.
Oh, is he dead?
Is he dead? No, he's alive. He's still alive.
What? How old
Hmm.
is he?
I have no idea. I didn't prepare ages.
Oh,
I would say he's probably like in his 50s. He's still
okay.
making music. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
At least he's not dead.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not dead with a unless he died and they just keep the persona going with the face and the bucket, you know?
That's true. You can do it with anyone.
Mhm.
I think
Mhm.
the music would be different though.
Yeah, they could easily clone him. Next one. Do you know who this cool cat is?
Oh man, he's a dude. Uh,
That's half of it. Yes.
that's Cool Man the Ice Bro boy.
Cool Man the Ice Pro Boy. No, I'm sorry. His name is Jimi Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix. Who's
Uh-huh.
that? What is he playing?
He played in the Jimi Hendrix Experience, I believe the band was called, and he was very monumental in like I don't know making black rock
Is he
and roll
dead?
back then. He is dead.
Knew it because he said was.
Damn it.
I caught you. I caught you. It's called verbs.
You twisted my words.
Yeah.
You're cheating. No, you're playing the game right. Do you know how he died?
Um. Okay. Here it is. JFK came back from the dead.
Uh huh.
Traveled through time because he has
Mhm.
a time travel device, obviously, because of the tunnels underneath the White House.
Mhm.
He 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 time traveled right behind him on stage once, and was like, "I'm gonna push you," and he was
Mhm.
like, "What?" And before he could react, he got pushed, and bad because the fans in front of him saw that he was being pushed by JFK and did not catch him. Instead, let his guitar be damaged. And the fall didn't kill him. It was the guitar impaled him in multiple spaces on his body.
Hmm.
And that's how he died. He bled out
Okay,
to death.
that was very, very wrong. I'm sorry. I can't even twist that to kind of be right. Uh, he he uh he was doing drugs. He vomited while laying down while doing drugs, and he choked to death on his vomit.
Oh, ew.
Yeah,
That's why
that
you gotta lay in proper position
yeah,
when you're drunk or
that's a
high.
proper way to be on drugs.
Yeah, just go face forward. Face
Although
down.
I would have preferred your death very much more because JFK. Yeah, I wouldn't even want to catch Jimi Hendrix either. I'd be like, oh shit, it's JFK back
Yeah.
from the dead or through
You'd be
time.
like,
I don't know.
"What? Wait, what? What are you doing here?" You'd be in shock.
What are you doing at a rock concert? Should you
Yeah.
be in Dallas?
Yeah.
Getting shot.
Exactly.
Uh, sorry. Yeah, that was very wrong. Who do you think this dude is?
Marilyn Monroe
Mm, no, Marilyn Monroe's a fox.
is a what?
She's a fox, Marilyn Monroe. Well, this dude's just kind of
Oh, wait,
ripped.
wait, wait. Who's that other guy?
You're thinking Marilyn Manson?
Yeah, Marilyn Manson.
Okay, that's no. This is
The
the
Rock.
guitarist Slash.
Slash.
Rock is actually close. I feel like he's named after a Pokemon attack.
Oh, that's
Slash.
fun. Is he
Um,
still alive?
he is still alive. He
Cool.
is. Yeah, he does the top hat. That's his thing. His top hat's his thing.
Hey, that's pretty neat. What is he playing?
I think he's like in Guns N' Roses, and he does a lot of
Oh,
other musical stuff, like a lot of random stuff.
that's pretty neat.
Uh,
Wow, I can't believe it.
next one. Who do you think this dude is?
What? Acoustic guitar, gross. First of all, this is Hippie Man McGee.
That's very close, actually.
What's his name?
Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain. Oh, he did. He's what is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? Don't give me an answer. Nirvana.
Yes, very good. He was in Nirvana.
Yeah, he
Okay, and I
died
just gave away.
at
Yes,
27.
I forgot how old he was, but that sounds right. Do you know how he died?
He was in a pool as a baby, and he drowned. And I caught up to him 27 years later.
They were taking pictures of him in the pool as a baby, chasing after a dollar bill, and he fucking drowned. That actually sounds very good. He shot himself in the head with a shotgun.
Oh,
Allegedly.
allegedly.
Some people believe that his then wife orchestrated his suicide slash murder. What was
Seems a
her
very
name?
wifely thing to do.
Yeah, Courtney Love. She's in a band too.
More like Courtney unloving. She
Very
did it.
true. I think she might have done it. A lot of people say she did because it's very hard to shoot yourself in the head with a shotgun. I think. I don't know. I've never tried. Yeah, it's very. it
It's
takes
very explosive.
it
It
takes yeah at least two people or three hands.
takes a certain type of person.
Lastly, we have this guy. Do you know who this guy is?
Oh boy. Amish Mohawk man.
Yes, AMM Amish Mohawk Man.
Yes.
His acronym is AMM.
AMM.
This is Wayne Static
Who is
from the
Wayne
band
Static?
Static X.
What is Static X?
It's like a new metal band, kind of like when
Oh.
Limp Bizkit came out.
Not
Do
really
you know if
into metal
he's
that much. I like hard rock.
yeah,
So,
no, he's metal. He's like Corn and Limp Bizkit,
oh, corn. I've
kind
heard
of
of
from that
corn.
era.
I've
Do
accidentally
you
had corn in my Pandora, and I was like, ew, too much
like
screaming.
do you like the vegetable corn?
I like it. It's good.
It's
It
sweet. I like it when
tastes.
it's sweet.
It tastes good when it's on a cob and it's grilled with
I don't
butter.
like it on a cob. I think it's too much work.
Too
It gets
much
stuck in
work
your
to eat it.
yeah, it gets stuck
That's
in
the
your
best
teeth.
part.
I don't know. Well, it's just too much work on a cob. I'd rather just eat a spoonful of
You can
kernels.
just like phew, phew, use it like a fork to push it down.
That's too much work.
Well, you just gonna drink a can of corn?
I could. I could probably drink a can of corn if I had to. Like a shot of corn.
Survival. Your body doesn't digest corn.
That's true. That yeah, would go right through me. Terrible.
Yeah, be a
Uh
bad
speaking of
idea.
speaking of bodies, do you know how he died? And I'm giving it away. He's dead. Do you know how he died?
Needles.
Yes, a drug overdose.
Oh, I knew it. He looks like a guy who would put needles inside of him.
Yeah, he had a drug overdose. You know what's crazy though? Like when we talked about Buckethead, the band actually kept going, and they have a dude that looks like him, but like it's the lead singer, but they just cover his face with a mask, but he has the same hair. Like,
Weird.
yeah, they just call him like I don't know, Mr. Static. I don't know what they call him, the new guy, but
Um,
he was replaceable apparently.
like, is he a better guitarist than him?
No, no, it's just the same
Oh,
caliber. I just thought it
ah,
was kind of messed up to do that to him, to just because
yeah. I
yeah,
don't. I don't know. I
it
guess
just
replace
shows
the guy.
well, it just shows how easily replaceable people are, especially men or women. In the
Yes,
case of Brown Bunny, how we can just move on and replace people in our
it is
memories.
interesting how fast people can just go through people.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then like
Yes,
people you've talked to for years leave you and then there's just a memory and like whatever.
it's like, oh, I'm not talking to you anymore. Oh man.
The
Y-
supercut.
Yeah.
Well, on that happy note, I want to thank everyone for watching the show. Where can they find you, Mint? Uh all the people.
I do daily movie reviews every day at 7 p.m. ET. YouTube.com/ASCpresents. It's called Minute Salad Saw is the series. If you want to know if I've reviewed a movie, just type in the search bar Minute Salad Saw and then whatever movie. Also, you can request a movie, patreon.com/ASCpresents for $20 redeemos. And if you'd like to help with daily grindiness, and also help support me, you can go to this link tree, linktr.ee/titsman salad, and that's how you can find me.
Yep, she's great. She's on she's on X2 putting out the movie reviews.
Yes,
Yeah,
twitter.com/autisticboobs, x.com/autisticboobs.
nice. X. And you can find That's All Funny podcast anywhere podcasts are available. The video of it is exclusive on X. Just follow me at Lorenzo Areola. You can check out the patreon.com/Lorenzo Areola for bonuses and all that. And check out the youtube.com/Lorenzo Areola, where we have this show live every Tuesdays from what I would say 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, 11. We have it on Tuesdays. Don't worry,
Yes.
guys, it's on Tuesdays. And yeah, I want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank Mint for being here. See you next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye bye.